You may have seen these little robots driving around Chicago, or if you're one of the three people who watch my videos who don't live in the Chicago area, you may have seen them in Los Angeles or Miami or Helsinki. So, what is up with these things? What are they doing? Are they effective at it? And are they good for cities? These robots were created by a Los Angeles based startup called Coco Robotics for the purpose of delivering food. Basically, certain restaurants have robot delivery as an option in DoorDash or Uber Eats or Wolt, the Finnish equivalent. The restaurant workers open the top, put the food in, and it drives off to its final destination where the customer plugs in a code and takes out their order. Then the robot sort of drives back home to wait for another order. One thing that's really important and sort of unclear is how these things are being controlled. An LA Times article from 2022 shows Coco employees in their basements with Xbox controllers driving them around, but Coco's website really leans into the autonomous vehicle and AI phraseology. It doesn't sound like these are fully autonomous. They use the phrase human AI collaboration, but I'm guessing that a lot of their VC money hinges on their progress toward developing fully autonomous robots. And this is in contrast to the back of the robots themselves, which clearly state human controlled. So that's basically the deal. But my question was, what is so broken about normal food delivery that we need robots? And Coco's website gives 5 adjectives as to why: affordable, reliable, clean, quiet, and fast. And I'm guessing the first adjective is the main reason it's getting traction. A quote on the Chicago Sun-Times article is particularly interesting. Robot delivery charges are comparable in price to driver delivery charges, but less when you factor in the tip, which robots don't accept. And in the same article, it mentions that the cost for Coco is about half of what a regular delivery driver would cost. So presumably DoorDash and UberEats are getting a good deal. As for reliability, that's to be determined. While watching these things drive around and get stuck behind people and trying to navigate crowded sidewalks, I had some concerns about their ability to get from point A to point B reliably. Their size doesn't seem to be too much of an issue, but turning around in a tight space definitely seems challenging, and maybe most crucially, they don't have an ability to assert themselves. I saw a few people block these on purpose, and they really have no way of saying, "Excuse me." A lot of Coco's marketing talks about greenhouse gas emissions, which definitely makes sense. A 100-pound robot certainly beats out a Toyota Corolla, but I do see a decent amount of food deliveries in Chicago by e-bike, and I'm curious about the emissions comparison there. As for noise, these things are pretty quiet, but then again, so are e-bikes. Compared to cars, they're obviously a lot quieter. And speed. I was actually very surprised once I followed these things around for a little while just how fast they are. Once they break off of heavily trafficked sidewalks, they can go about the pace of a bike, max of 15 miles per hour, their site says. And if we're talking Los Angeles traffic, I figure these could very well be faster than a car in some situations. So, are these things good for Chicago and good for cities in general? As for the macro piece of that, the whole humans need not apply thing, that's probably above my pay grade. But as for the micro piece, the right now, the who's getting screwed and who's benefiting, it seems like these benefit most everyone except probably the delivery drivers. As mentioned, these robots are cheaper than regular human drivers, so presumably it's a win from the restaurants on up. Given that these robots are at least mostly controlled by humans remotely, this seems like a more comfortable gig than biking or driving through the city. I wasn't able to find information on how much these human operators are being paid, but it's likely not any more than the $21 to $23 range for their open technician roles. I would guess that within 10 to 20 years, these will be fully autonomous and food delivery jobs will pretty much dry up. But again, that's more of a macro question on the impact to society. If they do start taking up a significant amount of space and humans only make up 10% of the traffic on the sidewalk, or it gets to the point where food delivery is so cheap that instead of going to restaurants, everyone just stays home, then I definitely have some concerns. But that's compared to the landscape we have now, where 75% of the people you come across on the street are either staring at their phone or listening to something on headphones. But as of right now, in August of 2025, I don't really have any problems with these food delivery robots. They're basically like really polite people who walk fast and don't bother you. So I'm good with that. Thanks for watching.